All right, now we are going to talk Pinterest analytics. Now, I know that this can be kind of a scary part when it comes to your Pinterest for Business account, especially if you're totally new to it. First, I'm going to start with this little number right here, your monthly Pinterest views. Now, I can't tell you how many times I see people completely freak out about this number. Their views will be up super, super high, and then they'll take a nosedive and they just completely lose it and get super freaked out and think it's the end of the world, and that is not the case. Now, what this number is this just the people that you reach? And obviously you want your monthly Pinterest views to be higher because you want to reach more people. But it's not the end of the world if they go down. Now, there are a few different reasons for it, especially right now, this time every year, there is what they like to call in the blogging world a seasonal Pinterest slump. And what that is, or what they think causes it, is due to the fact that the holidays are over. And during the holidays, and due to the fact that Pinterest is a visual search engine, there's a lot of activity on Pinterest. People looking up gift ideas, recipes, so on and so forth. So your monthly Pinterest views are going to go up during the holidays. And then after the holidays and moving into spring, there's going to be a pretty significant drop in monthly views since the number of Pinterest users is going down as well. Try not to freak out unless your website traffic is being directly affected by this. As we move into summer and kids are out of school, moms are going to be on Pinterest looking for ideas for summer activities and so on and so forth. So your Pinterest views are going to start to go back up again. Coming up, I'm going to cover a few different things you can do to get your Pinterest views to go back up. But try not to freak out about it if they go down. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of go over just the basics of your analytics and how you can look at them to create better content moving forward. Okay, so let's start with this first page here. Actually, we'll start with this first page. So these are your top pin impressions for the last 30 days. Now, not all of these pins are necessarily going to be your pins, and that's okay. But you want to at least have a couple pins in this area, and you really want to try to have at least one of your pins be this number one pin. This pin is mine, this pin is mine, and this pin is mine. This one is not, and this one isn't either. So here's what I'm looking at. The R means if it's a rich pin or not, if you're wondering what that means. I don't necessarily focus on saves. Obviously, repins and saves are great, which they're the same thing. But because that does expand your reach. But I'm really going to focus on impressions because impressions show me that my pins are actually reaching people and they're seeing them, which is telling me that the keywords I'm using in my pin descriptions are working. But I'm also really going to focus on clicks because that honestly is the point of Pinterest, is we want to create an awesome pin that is going to get your reader to click through from the pin to your website because that's what you want. You want website traffic. So I will look at pins, and this pin every month is my number one traffic driver in terms of pins on Pinterest. But I'll look at my other pins and I will learn from them. So this pin, how to make your first affiliate sale on Pinterest, is doing really well. Though it only has 84 saves, it has 228 clicks. Okay, now that's just for this month. So that's good. That's sending me a decent amount of traffic. Why are people responding to that pin? Well, most likely it's because it has a number on it. Now you'll see that the pins of mine that do really well have numbers in them, as in money numbers. So this pin has a number in it, $10,000 plus a month, with the help of Pinterest. So if I'm scrolling through a newsfeed and I see this, I'm like, heck yeah, I want you to show me how you make a consistent $10,000 a month with Pinterest. Like, I'm interested. I'm going to click on this even more than I'm going to save it. because I want to know right now how you're doing that. Okay. Again, with this, 4 high paying affiliate programs that help me make $10,000 a month with my blog. I want to know what those affiliate programs are. I want to know right now because I'm really interested in making money with my blog now. So people are going to click on that. So now moving forward, creating pins, I know that I'm going to get a good response and a good click-through rate if I'm adding numbers to my pin. Now, obviously, numbers don't pertain to every single pin that I'm creating, but for the pins that the numbers do fit into, I'm going to put them on there and I'm going to emphasize them. Again, I'm going to make them big, a different font and a different color. That way that sticks out in a smart feed full of pins, okay? Especially if that's kind of what I'm searching for. So those pins are doing well. So because I'm looking at that, I know moving forward how to create a little bit better content that might get me more website clicks. And I'm going to cover that more in the next couple of chapters. So this tab right here, again, is your Pinterest profile. This is going to show you all your pins that are doing really well, impressions, clicks, and saves. And again, they're not all going to be yours, and that's okay. You can learn from them. If you see a pin that isn't yours and it has a lot of a lot of saves but a lot of clicks on it, that pin is converting really well, and you want to know why. Well, look at the pin. What are they doing that's working for them? Obviously, they're emphasizing a number in their pin. So again, in terms of my target audience, that's what they respond to. So kind of take it as a learning experience. Even this one right here, the conversion is pretty well. Even though it only has 55 saves, there's more clicks on it, so that's good. And I'm going to guess that this pin talks about making money online. Yeah. Okay, so that your analytics are going to obviously, in the end, give you a great overview of what your target audience responds to and how you can create content that is going to convert to website clicks. So that first tab is going to just be all the pins that you pin to your profile. So these pins are my pins. This pin is a pin that I pinned to one of my niche specific boards, probably how to make money blogging. So this is all directly from my Pinterest profile. Now, if I go back, this is going to show the people I reach, okay? It's going to show me the country that they live in, the most popular cities, if they're male or female, which obviously my target audience is mostly female. So this is another really good aspect to look at because you can see, you're getting a lot of interaction on your pins, but where is it coming from? So again, I know that a lot of females are looking at my pins, and they're coming from pretty hip and upbeat cities. So I can kind of keep that in mind when it comes to using certain imaging and wording on my pins. Now I know that this seems like a lot, and eventually you just get the hang of it, and you don't have to be so in depth with it. You can kind of just skim over your analytics. I rarely look at this tab, like rarely. But when you're first starting out, you can kind of get a better idea of who you're targeting or who your pins are reaching. And then this one here these are repins directly from your website. And that is obviously why you want to confirm your website and enable rich pins, and people can pin directly from your site. Now mine are down a lot, which isn't great, but again, this is a Pinterest slump, okay? Even though, when you want people to pin from your website because that shows Pinterest that you're creating quality content. And because of getting repins from your website, if they're coming directly from your website, that kind of, again, sends Pinterest a little note saying people like what I'm talking about. So that will give me a little bump when it comes to their algorithm and smart feed. My pins have a better chance of showing up at the top when people are searching for specific keywords that pertain to what I blog about. So here you can see all the pins that people have pinned from your website. So let's say, how to make your first affiliate sale on Pinterest. I uploaded that pin directly to Pinterest. So those impressions are going to be different than these impressions that somebody else pinned from my Pinterest or from my website. I'm sorry. So this is another really good way to kind of go through and see what works, because not all of these are going to be, now I have to try to find an example, the exact pin that you put up. And how I talked about in the previous chapters, how you can hide numerous pins in your blog post. So when people pin directly from your post, they can select a pin. That is another really good way to see what people are responding to, because you can see the images that they're selecting when you look at this and see what's really popular. This pin right here is a pin that was hidden in a blog post. This is an old pin from an old post, but this was a pin that they directly pinned from my post. So when they had 6 different pin options, this is the one that they chose, if that makes sense. So that's another way to see what type of imaging, wording, so on and so forth that people are attracted to that read your blog. So hopefully this wasn't too confusing. Again, coming up in a few more chapters, I'm going to go over your Pinterest metrics and conversion rates. And what your metrics are going to be are these little numbers right here. So this is your Pinterest metrics. So if you click on that, you can see how many times your pin has appeared on Pinterest, your total engagements, and then your clicks. So the conversion rate on this isn't great. But this pin launched about a week ago, so normally I'm going to give it a couple more days to just see how it does and see if the engagement on it picks up. If not, I'm going to create a different one. So I'm going to cover that coming up. Hopefully, again, this wasn't too overwhelming. I promise that once you get the hang of it, it flows much easier than it does in the beginning.